Privyet, comrades. Comrade Stealth here. Welcome back to Soviet Republic Workers and Resources. In this episode, I want to make sure that I'm actually starting to make some of these rubles that you guys have been talking about. And yes, I called them rubles in the previous. We're talking about rubles. It doesn't matter. This is currency. The thing is, I have accidentally started close to the capitalist border. This is the NATO border. This is not actually where I would want to be, or where I would want to be exporting resources to, because we are not going to help the capitalists. They are not going to get our precious resources. However, we need more currency to build our empire. We need more currency to build our fortunes. So for the moment, I might have to do some underhanded trade with the communists, or sorry, with the capitalists. Otherwise, I might not be able to keep this city going. Because slowly, I'm draining my resources. What I do have a lot of are workers. And these workers need to be employed somewhere in order to make me some more money. Whether that is US dollars or rubles or rubles or whatever the currency is, doesn't really matter, so long as one of these numbers starts going up. So, time to make sure we have something where they can work. I could be exporting food, potentially, depending on how much I have. I'm currently importing food. These things are still going to take a long time before they actually produce anything of use. So right now, I might as well deploy a few more fields to make sure that my workers have some more fields. Otherwise, all of these people are just sitting here and doing nothing. What I do want to do is make sure that I have... Oh, buildings without power supply. Let's fix that first. Otherwise, this whole thing is useless. No, that's a cableway, infrastructure, power lines, medium voltage. Do I not have a substation here anywhere? Let's see, this is the substation. I hate that you cannot change the day-night cycle, because it makes it very hard to actually see what you're doing. Yeah, see? It does have a line. Aha. Operating without issues. Yeah, just when I click on it. Just when you do an inspection, the game goes, yes, we're working, don't worry about it. I don't trust these workers. I don't trust these people. Maybe they need to have a small visit of some of our more, shall we say, politically convinced allies to check how exactly they are loyal, if they are. Now, I do have power, apparently. Buildings operating without issues. And that means that my farm is now operating without issues as well. So, more fields. Infrastructure, roads, build an asphalt road. And I want to try and do that here on the other side. Making sure that I have a bit more terrain to work with. Because we're going to need more fields. Overlaps with existing Oh. Really? The power line happens to be in the way. Fine. We shall get rid of the power lines, albeit temporarily, and then build the asphalt road, and then I can deploy a couple more fields. So that's going to be a place where people can work. That was the food-related industry, foods and crops. Let's make it a small field, because I need another, let's say, 75 workspaces. Cannot build it due to existing infrastructure. Fine. There's more power lines in the way, apparently. Small field. What the hell are you talking about? The game keeps telling me that I cannot build it due to existing infrastructure. Well, yes, there's a road there that's supposed to be there. I swear that we've been infiltrated by the capitalists and they're actively starting to sabotage this game right now. Alright, the field is being produced. Now, let's reconstruct these power lines and make sure that I actually have power for my precious farm. Otherwise this whole enterprise is wasted. This one can go. And medium power voltage. Really? Capitalists everywhere. I'm being thwarted at every turn. Oh, they're different type of wires. That's the problem. So what have I been deploying then? These are all mediums. Different type of mediums. There. Power has been restored. Power to the people, that is, of course. Now, the sewing has been begun. This is going to take a lot of time. We need more spaces to have people work. Let's see, could I mine coal anywhere or other resources? There's oil. Capitalists like oil. The communists, our party doesn't particularly care for it very much. But if the capitalists want it, then we might as well be able to use that and get a bit of cash for ourselves. And that happens to be, apparently, here. Relatively close to this farm. So, build another road. Make that an asphalt road. And let's start setting up some oil infrastructure. Engineering, gravel, various oil bitumen here. Oil rig. This seems to be a good spot. Unfortunately, that also seems to be one of the only spots where I can actually get a decent return. Quality of source, 61%. That's not great. I wonder if it's going to be any better here. Build it. 43%. Still not great, but at least I can now make sure that I can start exporting oil. That is, provided I have an infrastructure system set up and that I can actually get to the capitalists. This one's going to go right here, and this one's going to start here and make a bit of a turn. Right. Now I need to make sure that I have a way of getting this stuff from the oil rig to the destination, which happens to be the capitalists. I can turn this into an oil refinery, or rather I can use the oil that I get to turn it into fuel and bitumen. Let's do that. If I am not mistaken, I can just use pipelines and feed this stuff directly into the refinery. Let's see, chemical plants, storage, loading and unloading. I don't want a chemical plant just yet. I just want to make some money. Infrastructure, conveyors. No, I need pipelines. Pipelines. We're going to go here. And then I can deploy my factory slightly more here. My oil refinery has to be connected to the road, of course. Like that. It's only mildly expensive. Then, infrastructure, back to the pipelines. Hello, get that thing built. Workers of the Soviet Union, I need this thing built. Thank you. Proceed. I'm not sure if they all have power yet, so that's something that I will probably need to fix. Must go from input to... Jesus. These are outputs. Lovely. Fine. I wonder if this is going to work. No, it is not. That's going to make this particularly annoying. Because it means that I'm going to have to do these pipelines bit by bit by bit. Oh, it's too long. Ha! Doesn't even work. Lovely. Get rid of all the pipelines then. We'll just use a truck and bring it to the factory. Provided that the factory is going to be finishing anytime soon. Now, this factory is going to need more workers. Unfortunately, that's not something that we have a shortage of. They will need a maximum of 500 workers. That is going to be a lot of workforce. And at the moment, I don't have nearly as many. I have 80 unemployed workers. So there is still quite a lot of potential. Still, I want to make sure that I have more workers available, because we're going to need a few more people to actually finish that factory and make sure that it's producing enough. Oh, there's a farm there. There. This thing is still finishing. I want to set up a new line. There's my road depot. That's the construction office. Road depot. I'm gonna have to buy a new vehicle. This is not a harvesting vehicle. It is, in fact, a truck that transports oil. 3.5 liters, or sorry, 3.5 tons, 9 tons. 9 tons is good. This is, oh, this is 12 tons. I'll take 2. One is going to start here. Building is not finished. Work faster. Before I start to challenge your convictions to the Soviet Party. If you don't work hard enough, we might have a chat with your family. You might not like how chat is going to turn out. Speed up. I still need to get my construction office working, by the way. Because as it stands, I don't really have a lot of steel, bricks, prefabs, boards, etc. But I first want to make sure that I have a bit of money. That I have some stuff to export. As it stands, I'm just burning money. This is fine, at least at the start. I just want to make sure it doesn't keep happening. Start. Second truck. You're gonna start... Shit. Where are you going to start? Yeah. Here's my other truck. I forgot to which I actually sent that one. Rig 2. I imagine you're Rig 2. Yeah, that's Rig 2. Okay. You. Comrade. Start here, drop off there. Commence your run. Right now there is, in fact, a lot of oil. And it is being produced and stored. We do not yet have any workers. And we are missing oil. Both of these are... What the hell? Which comrade started a fire in their own flat? What sort of disobedience is that? And perhaps more importantly, how do I put it out? This was not covered in the manual. Where does one find any kind of fire department? Not that we need these things, because most of the time things do not burn in the Soviet Union, except for nuclear reactors. But I am expecting better results than this. Fire department. Fast is good. Everybody who's not currently doing anything useful, get to work. They will need a new vehicle, I think. Because it says there's 0 fire trucks here. Ah. Speed 8, level 12. Level 12 is good. There goes the fire engine. I am still not entirely convinced that this was an accident. I would not be entirely surprised if it is in fact the capitalists who have been sabotaging this residential building. Now, there are a couple of citizens awaiting an ambulance, so I will probably have to make sure that these people actually get the ambulance that they desire. Although, if you require an ambulance, that shows weakness, and weakness is something that we do not abide by in this Soviet Union. Still, maybe a hospital would be advisable here. The fire is now out. This should allow my workers to get back to their actual job of working. Now we have no power supply, we have no resources, which I find hard to believe. And we need to make sure that the workers can actually get to this particular factory. So it is back to infrastructure. It is back to another bus stop. And these lazy workers... Oh, that is not the right way to put these things down. These lazy workers are going to have to get to this factory. And apparently they are too lazy to walk. That is a really big platform. A simple bus stop should do. I believe these do not require workers. No, they do not require workers. Building is without power supply. Again? How many times do I have to help these people get more power? I get that they are not quite capable of deciding things for themselves and that they might need my help for that. But the amount of help that these people require is quite sad. You would think that the workers of the Soviet Union have a bit more autonomy. Shit, that's the wrong place. It's not covering the other one. I'm going to need more substations. One here. One here. Medium voltage line to here. Is that covered? Is that connected? That isn't. Angle of connection is too sharp. Please cry me a river. I am not sure if this works. I believe it does not. I think we might have to make a switch here. So that I can use my power and distribute it better. Alright, that works. Now we're going to draw this one to here. Does that mean that this now has power? Yeah, it has power, it just doesn't have any workers. Alright. Right. Workers. We should have no shortage of those. How many people do I have that do need a job? 102. Fine. Apparently they are still too lazy to walk from here to there. It's only 300 meters. People have to walk farther to a supermarket. Stop complaining about bus stops. This is utterly unbecoming of a proud Soviet worker. Alright, bus stop constructed. And I'm going to have to add, believe it or not, a bus that travels 300 meters. Because the Soviet workers are too damn lazy to walk 300 meters to a different position. I'm not asking these people to walk across the world. I'm asking these people to walk from one spot to another. And that's it. Now, it does seem that some of these buildings... Yeah, I have not set up the power lines correctly. I do wonder why. Maybe I'm using the wrong voltage wires. Medium voltage wires. These connect. These connect. Angle too high. Man, this game is picky. Fine. Do you now have power? Building is without power supply. How? Building is without power supply. Come on. No workers for the power plant? Apparently I do not have enough workers. Or they're just not in the right spot. This bus line. I want to have another bus. Buy a new vehicle. You. Copy to that bus. Start. Where are all my workers and why are they not working at the power plant? Because without the power plant, everything else is useless. Everything is just wasted. So please, start working. What I can do as a fallback measure is connect this to my existing power network. That means that I will start to import, which is not great, but at least I will have power. These are the doubles, here to here. And then we're gonna go to mediums, I think. There. If I'm not mistaken, I can now automatically get power. Here, import. Maximum amount of energy to purchase, 50%, 9 megawatts. This way at least I should have some power. I don't get why this power plant is not working. There's one whole worker in there. Ah, we also at least have 5 workers in here. So now I can use my oil, or fuel rather, to start exporting from here to the capitalists. And the capitalists, they like their oil at 39 per liter or per ton. So let's set up another vehicle. This is going to be another oil tanker. And this is going to be a fairly large one. The T138 cistern. We're going to have this one start at here and unload over there. Commence. I do not like trading with the capitalists, but at the moment this is the way that I can make my city grow, or at least such is the plan. Will this work? Of course this will work. And I resent you for even asking the question whether it will work. Just to make sure I have enough people, time to add some more residential buildings. Maybe I can just rotate them like this. just start piling more bio workers in these particular places. And then hopefully add another road here to make it more accessible for these workers, especially the lazy ones. Because there seems to be no shortage of lazy workers here. Alright, how much workforce do I have available? 91 unemployed. There's still no workers at the power plant. You're gonna have to explain that. Why are there 13 workers here? We do have workers here. There we go. 59 workers at the Leshy oil refinery. And we are seemingly exporting oil. So I'm assuming that... Oh, sorry, importing oil? No, here. This is the resource that's being provided by these oil rigs. And that is good, because that means that I can now start exporting fuel. Which is what this truck is doing. Yes. Current value of cargo. I'm not even sure in which currency I'm offloading. That is interesting. You, comrade. What currency are you going to accept? I think it is going to be dollars. But I'm not 100%. Speak. You are going towards the capitalists. We are actually exporting fuel to NATO, believe it or not. Yes, they're exporting in dollars. So this should at least compensate a little bit for the energy that I'm importing from the capitalists. Workers here are at a good number. Workers here are not at a good number. Only 7. There's a lot more fuel being stored here than I'm actually exporting. So it's time to get another one of those vehicles and make sure I can export more. That's going to be an oil tanker, another T-138 cistern. And that is this vehicle, I think. Comrade, you're going east. You're going east. That makes you the one that needs to get copied to this vehicle. Go. Status on our economy. We are gaining dollars. We are losing rubles. And the biggest concern here is the import of new immigrants. I still need a lot more workers here. I think I can get a lot more oil produced, or a lot more fuel. And I can also get the bitumen from here and get those delivered to the construction office to allow me to actually build roads without having to buy all of them. What do you transport? No. I don't think bitumen is a dumper truck. Here. I don't have a lot of it, so I'm just going to tell this one to start here at the chemical plant and drop it off there. That's what we're going to do. We're going to make sure that they have their bitumen here. The brick, no. Oh, they don't need it. Haha. Lovely. Stop. I might have to add another factory there before this is actually going to get useful. Chemical plant, asphalt plant. I will need gravel and bitumen before I can make asphalt. Our amount of oil is actually going down, but is constantly being resupplied by these tanker trucks. So the amount of fuel is going still up, surprisingly. I still need a lot more workers. Average productivity 80%. Work harder. Why do I have 113 unemployeds? One worker without a job. How can you not have a job? Low education level. Can't go to school. Low education level. There is no kindergarten or places available. Aha. So we're gonna have to set up some more infrastructure, making sure that my workers actually have a place to store their fresh workers, their children, and then they can get to work. Where is the kindergarten? Grocery store. Please don't tell me that the education tab holds this. It does. Well, you can never start with the indoctrination. I mean the promotion of the Soviet party early enough. Let's set up a kindergarten. And I can also allow my workers to get there by using footpaths. Not a mud path, but from here to, let's say, there, and from here to here. And now I will have no further complaining of a lack of infrastructure. Babies at the kindergarten, 25 out of 58. I think the more staff you have, the more people, or the more babies they can house. So this should free up a bit more of my workforce. Let's make sure that the education can continue by using another building, the school. And the school I can possibly fit somewhere over here. Although the game is protesting that there is infrastructure in the way. We'll set up the school over here. And this should make sure that the education about the glory of the Soviet party continues. We have a couple of students at the schoolyard. And in the meanwhile, the babies at the kindergarten are being taught the glory of the Soviet Republic. Or Soviet Union. I don't know where this whole Republic thing comes from. Once again, check up on the economy. We are actually gaining dollars. This is good. We are gaining dollars. Last month, we have lost dollars, courtesy of importing vehicles from Western countries. But this month, we have not imported vehicles from Western countries, and we have sold, courtesy of getting exports in the form of bitumen and fuel. This is excellent. Alright, comrades, that is it for this episode. I hope you still continue to support the Soviet party. If not, then we shall have to schedule a visit of a slightly less convenient nature. Please let me know what your thoughts on this episode are down below in the comment section. Keep in mind that any negative commentaries will be removed by the party, as any dissent is not tolerated. I shall see you guys next week for the next episode of Soviet Republic.